The first thing that I try to tell people is typically brokerage accounts allow you to create a paper trading account or a virtual money account. So now you are able to literally get comfortable and get used to the platform.
Exactly.
The first time you do almost anything, you fail at it. The first time you ride a bike, you fall down. The first time you try to drive, right? You need to have somebody next to you, right? You probably, especially guys like Ross, you know what I'm saying? Like, start, right?
Hey, I crashed my mama's car like within the first month of getting my license. I was so tight, bro.
See,
Bad, off-white. I done mix my with Fago. Stack my money up like Legos. Bad me when I say so. Pull up in the spotlight. Pull up in the drive-by.
what's up, everybody? What's up, world? It's your boy Brandon Copeland, aka Professor Cope, and I am here with my dog. You might think you Kobe right now. If you seen him play, you probably wouldn't think that, but this is my dog, though, man. He done done a lot, man. Ross Mack of Mackonomics, man. We alive, man. It's money, music, culture. We tapped in, rejuvenated,
Yes,
reinvigorated, brother.
Yes,
First and
sir.
foremost, how's my guy doing, man? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good, bro. And it's crazy you was talking about, me with the Kobe jersey. They been calling me the second coming of Kobe. I was supposed to get a 10-day contract.
Who said that?
They? Oh, some of the scouts.
Him.
You know what I mean?
Oh, the scouts. I got you.
I told you I'm changing my pronouns to him. That's what I identify as. I'm him. When you see me play, I am him, and him is me. You feel me? But and yeah, man, I'm feeling great, bro. We about to kick off another season of Money Music Culture. So you already know where I'm at, man. My head in the game. I'm trying to get my bread up. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. So for those who have not listened to us and not been on the journey with us, one, we appreciate you being on the journey with us now. But Money Music Culture, man, we talking about all the things that we like, all the things that push the culture forward, all the things that the culture is attracted by, right? Music, money, right? But more importantly, what we're going to be doing is taking a deep dive and making sure that we're educating on how you can actually stack your money, how you can grow your money, how you can put it to work for you, how you can go flip it and make it your employee, right? So it's some of our favorite things that we see in the culture are influenced by money, and they might be delivering a crazy gem to you, a crazy message to you, but we're so, sometimes we're not reading between the lines enough. So that's what our job is to keep it honest, to keep it underwhelming. I emphasize underwhelming because I think that, as we like to say, there's a lot of people who have a job and they like to make sure that everybody thinks that what they do is rocket science. We not like that. We try to make sure it's underwhelming so you can do it too. And then we're going to see when the dust settles the impact that we can make. And I'm excited about it, brother. So
Yeah, let's get it, man. Let's call it, let's call a spade, right? We talk about the culture, but the culture sometimes make us, delusional. They think, making money is easy and everybody wants instant gratification. Everybody want to be rich right now. And I think the crazy thing is like, look, we're going to break it down, right? Because your favorite artist is talking and bragging about how rich they are. But ain't nobody really giving us the step-by-step process of getting there, right? Because at the end of the day, your favorite artist that we listening to or your favorite athlete we watching, they are less than 1%, right? To make it to, the NFL, the NBA, the MLS, whatever it is, or to be the top R&B charting or rapper or whatever, it's less than 1%, right? Just based on how many billions of people it is, right? But like, it is a way that we all can get money. And I think it always starts with having these conversations that I'm just really scared to happen. I mean, to actually have at the dinner table, right? I tell people right now that the typical barbershop talk is what athlete is better or what girl look best. But ain't nobody talking about, what your portfolio look like, bro. And that's what we about to change. We got to shake it up.
Hey, say no more, man. So it's time to start shaking the shit up. And I think, one of the first things people always ask, or one of the first things people want to talk about when it comes to money, especially when you're looking at the news and you're seeing things like Robinhood and SoFi and Wealthfront and all these different things, and then you look on social media and everybody's talking about the flips that they making in the market and stuff like that, is how to invest or what to invest in, right? But we're gonna start slow. Let's start how to invest, man. And so if I ask you that question, let's just go ahead and open up the wormhole, right? Ross Mack, I'm trying to get started investing, man. Where do I start?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, investing is 100% a mindset, first and foremost, right? Because the question is, man, I want to start. I don't know where to start, right? And then now that you know where to start, okay, how much do I start with? Or where do I go, right? At the end of the day, if you still answering those questions, I just want you to look at it like you jumping, in the deep end in some cold water, right? You can't tiptoe in. Sometimes you just got to jump in, right? Meaning like, let's just do it. Come over your fear and saying, all right, it's time to actually do it. And the next thing is like, all right, where do I start? And the very first thing is you got to open up a brokerage account. A brokerage account is effectively like a bank account. The only difference is your money is in a position where you could actually use it to actually buy assets, right? Because we talk about it all the time, right? Your bank account, your money is really just losing value, right? Like, inflation over the past, few months or whatnot it approached the highest level it's been in over 40 years, right? Like over 7-8%, meaning your money, $100 today, next year, it's only going to be able to buy, $92, $93 worth of goods. So we understand bank accounts, right? Like, all right, everybody, our grandmama, aunties, uncles, whatever, have told us, save your money, put it in a bank account. But the next step is after you save it, right? You need to put it in a brokerage account, right? And Cope, I think you and I both have done a little work with Morgan Stanley, so we could probably talk about E-Trade, right? Morgan Stanley has purchased E-Trade not that long ago, within the past year or two or something, but we could actually talk about it. So I always say one of the easiest places to, open a brokerage account is, going to something like eTrade.com, and I'm not going to just use them, but so I'll say, Robinhood or Fidelity, and the list will go on. But look at it like this. All they're going to ask you, right? Hey, I want to open up a new account. They're going to literally ask you a series of questions, where you live, what's your social security. They want to make sure you're not laundering money or nothing like that. And I promise you, it's a very easy thing, right? They might ask you how much money you make or something like that. And where's this money coming from? Is it savings or, you're working for it or something like that? They want to make sure, once again, you ain't laundering money. But after that, you're in, right? You got your account.
Hold on. That, like you said, they want to make sure you're not laundering money, but like that seemed pretty easy when you said it like that. That's all I'm saying. It's like it seemed like you could set that thing up in a day or two. Like it's not that much barrier to entry, right? And so you telling me, Ross Mack, that there is just a low barrier to entry to start my own investment account right now. Is that what you're telling me, bro?
I'm willing to argue that it's easier to open up a brokerage account and quicker than it is to set up a LinkedIn or, like Instagram, Damn. Right? Like that's how easy it is, right? You're going to go in there. They're going to ask you your name. They're going to ask you your address. They ask you how much money you make. They're going to ask you a few questions that chances are no, right? Because the questions are, do you or someone in your household, your husband or wife, work
company, investment company, and
exactly. Chances are no, because you're just now opening it up, right? And then that's it.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you say you want to invest, but you don't set up the brokerage account, you full of shit. You bluffing. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I just want to make sure we emphasize right here, right? Like the barrier to entry today is extremely, extremely low. Now, that's not us telling you to go in and just dive in and pour your life savings into the brokerage account and to start investing and start trading tomorrow if you haven't researched and you haven't done your due diligence and all those things, right? But to actually create an investment account, a brokerage account in your name today is very, very simple. I did it for my 6-month-old when he was 1 month old, and I was surprised that it happened in literally about 6 hours. I thought they had like a little clearance time or something like that, but as soon as we got his social security number, we were straight. You know what I'm saying? Start that custodial account for him, right? And whether we decide to put cash in it or not, it's there, and we have the opportunity to invest by having the brokerage account. So I just wanted to make sure I emphasize that, because we going, if we're not just talking to the culture, we trying to influence the culture. So we gonna make sure we hit it.
I got some questions because now you talking about I'm grown. You opened up a brokerage account for your kid. You gonna have to get into that, man. That custodial account, what's that?
Listen, man. So the custodial account, that's another episode, Ross. That's another the custodial account, brother. No. I mean, it's simple. It's like how you get started investing. You the same way I can open up an account for myself, you can open up an account for a minor. And obviously, with that being said, and when I say a minor, I say a minor because it might not just be your child where you have the information and things like that. Like, I can open up an account for my niece or my nephew, my godchildren, right? But obviously there's a certain barrier to that information, their social security number. I don't know my godchild's social security number, right? But if you can hit up the parents and you can let them set up the account, but just understanding that now as a custodial account has a custodian of it, right? Same way you think of a parent or a guardian, a custodian is the person who is is deemed to be watching over and guarding the funds and making the investment decisions, right? Because that minor, that person or that individual younger than 18 years old, on paper, they shouldn't be able to, I'm not saying I agree, but they shouldn't be able to walk into a bank and make investment decisions and all of those types of things, right? Now, our children, they're going to be able to, because that's what mama and dad are preaching, right?
Believe it.
But,
trust fund kids.
It's the step.
Let's get it.
Hey. Say no more.
We gotta remove the negative connotations. I want my kids to be trust fund kids.
Facts. They ain't start from the bottom. If they told you they started from the bottom, they lying. Call me if they start from the bottom. I might get madder about that when our kids is in elementary school or middle school. I probably want the teachers to call me.
What if your kid is a rapper? He gotta act like he hood and he was broke.
Look, you better Drake it. You better Drake it, boy. You better.
But even Drake say I started from the bottom. Now I'm here.
Oh, he did it. He surely did, right? Now, but now listen, I remember being a kid and you see them parents and they come up. Don't make me come to the school. That's how my mom was. Don't make me come to that school, right? Yeah. You get in trouble a little too much, and then mama show up. Or I remember my boy on my basketball team.
Cope also the first actual professional football player who used to get bullied in school. You would never think it. That's why his mom came up to the school.
Bullying is real though. Bullying is real though, man. That shit real. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. That's a sensitive subject. Nah, I'm messing with you. But it is a sensitive subject. But I will tell the teachers you probably need to call me if you hear my child talking about they started from the bottom, because I'll be damned. As hard as we working out this mug, you better not. Hey. Boy, you better not. I'll take your ass up out of school right now, boy. I embarrass your ass just for that. But man, back to the topic. How to get started investing, right? So you set up the brokerage account.
Yep.
Right? The next thing that I'm going to go and add on top of that is, once you set up the brokerage account, is the first thing that I try to tell people is you should either, if you haven't done it already, you can create, typically brokerage accounts allow you to create a paper trading account or a virtual money account, right? Think about Monopoly money, right? So now you are able to literally get comfortable and get used to the platform. So say, hey, I want a virtual trading, a paper trading account of $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, whatever that number is for you, go ahead and put it in there. And then you start to get comfortable with the platform, right? Buy to open, sell to close, stop on quote, all of those types of different things that can help make sure that when you are trading your real money, you aren't losing money simply off of a communication or a language barrier or not understanding how to use the interface, right? I think that's simple. So by using a paper trading account, you check two boxes for me. One, making sure you know how to use the interface, which is extremely important. But then two, also giving you a chance to get your feet wet. Remember, this is your first time trading. The first time you do almost anything, you fail at it. The first time you ride a bike, you fall down, and hopefully somebody's there to pick you up. The first time you try to drive, right? You need to have somebody next to you, right? You probably, especially guys like Ross, you know what I'm saying? Like, start, stop, right?
Hey, I crashed my mama's car within the first month of getting my license. I was so tight, bro.
See, yeah, we're gonna have to dive into that story. But that's a prime example, right? The first time we do most things in our lives, we are bound to fail at it. It's trial and error, right? It's touching the stove, right? But we got to make sure that you have this message now. Understand it is going to happen. So we're using the virtual paper trading account to start to make sure that we're taking some of those L's with paper money, right? But you're learning the market. You're making trades as if this is your real money. And then once you get to the point where you're comfortable putting your own money, your own dollars behind it, like Ross said, you got to dive in at some point. You can't always sit on the sideline and think you're going to learn and get great at something, right? You got to dive in at some point. And when you do, now, if you do take a loss, I'm wrong when I say that. When you do take a loss, because you will take a loss, understand that it's investing. You look at your portfolio some days and it's bloody. You got them bloody shoes, right? It is what it is. You take a loss, but understand that it is part of the game. It is part of the hustle, right? Like Kobe missed some game-winning shots. You know what I'm saying? It is part of the game. That is a loss. That's like losing on a trade in the stock market. But guess what? He brought his ass back to the gym and he delivered the next time, or he prepared to deliver the next time. So I don't want anyone, I think that's sometimes what happens to us is like we get dismayed and we feel like we're out of place when we take that first loss or we take that second loss, right? The biggest thing in investing, and the one lesson I wish I would have had my first time investing, was how to understand risk and leverage, and to not go ahead and take, if I got $1,000 in the account, don't put all $1,000 into one trade. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that we will learn and we continue to talk about along this journey. But when you talk about getting started investing, first and foremost, that virtual paper trading account, I think, is key, because it gives you practice reps, and we all need them.
So I'm going to venture off, and I'm going to be, the Skip Bayless to your shark, right?
Skip.
Hey, Skip. And the reason I say it is because we're talking about two different things right now. We're talking about investing versus trading. Those are two different things, right? Investing is long-term, right? Investing is planting a tree, knowing that in 20 years, it's going to be, 40 feet high in the air, fully blossom, the biggest thing on the block, right? That's what you're thinking about investing, right? You want to have the perfect place you planting that tree at, and it's going to really help the community, create some oxygen, etc., right? And so I have to disagree with Cope on one point, and that's saying, like, the first thing I want you to do is to start paper trading, because that right there is teaching you not to invest, but instead teaching you to trade, right? Which is, more calculated form of gambling to a degree, right? And so when I'm telling a person to invest, the very first thing I'm really thinking about is, look, let's change your mindset. And the reason I was saying, jump in is because let's talk about the facts, right? The two words I want you to really become familiar with is compounded interest. And compounded interest is when your money is making money on top of your money making money, right? It is the interest on interest, right? And it's literally the eighth wonder of the world. Google Albert Einstein compounded interest. That's my cousin. He gonna tell you it's the eighth wonder of the world. And the reason it's so important is because the earlier you learn about compounded interest, the higher likelihood you will have of building true wealth over time. Because the earlier you start investing, right, long-term investing, the richer you will be down the line. And that's going to move us to our next point, right? And so once we open up our, brokerage account, whether it's with E-Trade, Fidelity, Robinhood, Acorns, it doesn't matter, right? But the next thing you have to understand is, okay, what am I doing? Am I trying to gamble? Am I looking at everybody on Instagram just telling me they just flipped, made $3,000 in 5 minutes? Or, right, do I understand that the win percentage of that, right? Because everybody posts their wins, but don't nobody post their losses, right? And just looking at all the teams that Copeland knows, that all the teams Copeland has played for, we know he knows a thing or two about losing. I don't think that boy ever had a winning season in his life.
Stop, bro.
Outside high school.
I'm trying to think about it.
Or college. College, though, you did good.
Yeah, college.
Yeah, college, you was solid. Y'all won. You know what I'm saying? But that boy don't know nothing. Man. That boy, he be sitting right next to me every time it's the playoffs. Hey, man, this is. Oh, you played against him? That's crazy.
That's true.
But
missing my money.
Hey, but I'm saying that to say, right, like everybody posts their wins, but never their losses. And so once you start changing your mindset to saying, you know what, I want to be rich in 20 years or 30 years, right? Because you can have a mindset where you can employ both long-term and trading. But when it comes to long-term, what we're talking about is investing your money, being consistent, being disciplined, and every month, right? Putting money into your brokerage account that is then going to auto invest in maybe one or two accounts, right? I'm sorry, one or two type of funds, right? And then we're going to talk about what your first investment should be, right? So now that you open your brokerage account, right, the same way you will open up a Cash App or Venmo or whatever, PayPal, right? What they're going to do, they're going to have you connect your bank account. You can either wire money or once again, right, connect your bank account, right? We all know how to do that. So once you do that and you're finally, it might take 3 days to actually get money into your brokerage account, I always recommend the very first investment you should make is the S&P 500. I'm going to say that again. The S&P 500, it stands for Standard & Poor's, and it is a index, right, of 500 of America's, some of the biggest and best companies, right? Chances are anything you could think of, right, whether it is Apple, whether it is Amazon, whether it's Netflix, Google, Facebook, MasterCard, Visa, Johnson & Johnson. The list go on. I only named about 8. Trust me, it's 492 other companies, right? The list going to go on, but the thing is, it is the most representative of America, right? It is saying it's going to have some energy stocks in there. It's going to have some technology companies, some consumer staples, that being the Target, the Walmarts, right? Costco. It's going to have, some travel stocks, right? It's going to have some American Airlines, right? And these are things that are actually, it's going to have some Disney, right? And so the reason I say that, it's so representative of America that it gives you the best opportunity to be fully diversified, meaning, right, if something is going on, right, if it's a recession, you know what, people ain't buying discretionary stocks. People ain't traveling in as much, but they still got to go to Walmart, right? And so when you first start out, having a very balanced portfolio, that way saying, if certain parts of the S&P are down, other parts are going to be up. It's almost always works that way, right? And the most famous investor is a guy named Warren Buffett. And if I'm an athlete, right, if Copeland, he play a linebacker and Ray Lewis tell him something, he one of the greatest ever do it, he going to listen, right? If Michael Jordan, everybody know I got hoop dreams still of Michael Jordan or Kobe. As I got the jersey, don't tell me something, I'm going to listen, right? And I think that when it comes to investing, everybody get out there trying to dive in the deep end. And the reason I say just jump in, I don't mean jumping in as a trader. I mean jumping in as an investor, because the greatest investor, that being Warren Buffett, is going to tell you, look, don't try to outsmart the market, because over time, if you invest in the S&P 500, guess what? The average return of the S&P for every year, it is 10%. That means every year on average it's going up 10% each year. Some years it go up 20%, some years it go up 30, 40%. Other years it might go down 10, maybe 5, might be flat. But on average, if you look at it since it's been around, every year it goes up an average of 10%. And so when we start thinking about compounded interest and we're thinking about not trying to outsmart it, look at long-term investing as a more smarter saving account, right? A smarter bank account, because what you're doing now, discipline, you getting direct deposit into your bank account, right? But now auto draft that, put that, automatically into the S&P 500, and you'll look up, man, if you putting $200-$300 in every month into the S&P 500, taking account of the compounded interest, you'll have $1 million in 25 years. And so for me, right, and I love, because now we're going to go back, Skip, you feel me, or Shannon Sharp, you get me? We'll go back and forth, because Cope, he different. He started out trading.
Yeah.
Right? And so to a person who don't know how to invest, right, before you truly start off trying to trade, I always say do the long-term investing. And Warren Buffett will tell you, look, man, you ain't got to overthink it, right? You ain't going to be the best athlete, because investing, really, these are the top athletes who are really controlling the market, right? Think about it. I can't get out there on the field with Cope. As much as I think I'm better than Copeland, I'm not getting out there with Cope. Cope going to put me right on my ass, right? You know what I'm saying? He out there trying to tackle Derrick Henry. I go out there try to tackle Derrick Henry. It's a strong chance I'm going to need a gun to get him down. You feel me? That boy, but them is the professionals. But for some reason, people think investing ain't the professionals. So when you're out there trying to outsmart the professionals, it's the same thing, right? Could I stick LeBron out there Am I able to pitch to Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge sending my shit 500 yards the other way, right? And so I look at it as saying, okay, how can I build up long-term wealth? And that's investing as a long-term investor, trying to take advantage of compounded interest, investing monthly into the S&P 500, right? To just start to get rich over 25 years. Then once you get that, I think that's when we employ, right, the logic that Cope is having, which is, okay, now before I start trading, let me learn what the hell is going on. What you think of that?
Yeah, Skip, you right, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was about to try to hit you with some competitive shit, but nah, man, you 100% right. I mean, investing and trading are totally different. But I'm glad that you broke down the difference between them because, like you said, trading is basically gambling, and some people try to call it educated gambling, but some people are making those educated gambles, but a lot more are just gambling, and just hoping to hit it big. And I think, when I look at my kids' portfolio and even my portfolio, right, like it's transitioned over time to be, my original start was trading, and it was that paper money, and it was a flip because for me, everybody's in different financial situations. I started investing in college after an internship at UBS, and it was like, I know that this $1,000, I think I ended up taking 3 racks from my internship. Yeah, I took 3 racks from my internship that I saved up the entire summer, and I put it into that account. And for me, it was like, look, I know myself, and this is all tuition right here, right? This is a learning experience right here. But my goal was to take that 3 and be like the dude off of Limitless, Bradley Cooper off Limitless, and turn that thing into about 126 million, right? So it was a different thought process with that. And now taking a step back, and if you look at my portfolio, it is all investments. It is all long-term, right? Outside of trading every once in a while when I see an opportunity to make some money, make some vacation money, make some company retreat money, make some insert whatever you want to insert their money, big meal money, right? It's all about long-term investments, and that is really, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's the way that you sleep comfortably at night. Kind of rewinding a little bit, I used to trade options while playing in the NFL, and literally like every single day I was just looking for a new trade. And I was doing well, actually, but because I was so focused on those trades, it distracted me from my ultimate primary source of income, my primary profession, right? Like, while I should be focused on what Beast Mode is doing on the film right now, and what his tendencies are, what Russell Wilson is check tendencies are, what his snap count tendencies are. I'm focused on, well, damn, I just bought some Nike call options, but like this dude wearing Under Armour, this dude wearing Adidas, coach over there wearing Under Armour too. Hold up. This don't feel good. I got to go to the bathroom, and I'm in the locker room sitting there trying to trade out of options, right? No wonder I was practice squad that first year. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when I transitioned to investing as opposed to trading, I can honestly say, Ross, what you touched on is so important because it gave me a better quality of life, right? Like I didn't wake up in the morning and just be, heart drop at the market open or news of some earnings call the night before and knowing that I done just blown up my portfolio, right? But I also, you miss out on the wild swings upwards as well too. But again, there's a major difference between investing and trading. And so, I think that that's a really great point that you highlighted. I want to ask you one question as we close here, because you mentioned two things that get a lot of press. One is Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett, the OG, triple OG of investing. Like you said, your cousin. Hopefully he got you in the will. That'd be nice.
Bro, would it?
2, Robinhood. Now, Robinhood has been under a lot of scrutiny and a lot of heat, ultimately because people feel like it's gamifying investing, and they're gamifying investing. They're the barriers to entry, no commissions, all those types of things where they've forced other platforms to change up their business models to have less or no commissions as well too, right? Where it gave more access to the average individual to invest for the first time ever. They even have access to IPOs. Warren Buffett and other professional investors think that, and politicians as well, think that that is harmful because now you're giving people who are untrained an opportunity to invest, and ultimately when you have downturns in the market, or they invest unknowing, or you got Wall Street bets and things like that. Some of them win, but more of them probably are getting hurt in the process. I have my own take on it, Skip. I got my own take on this thing, right? But before I cloudy up the room with my take, I'm curious to get your take on it. How do you feel about that?
So let's first talk about what the initial goal was. The initial goal was democratization, right, of investing, right? That word is used a lot, but at the end of the day, it is saying, how do we allow the everyday person, everyday man to build wealth? Because when you really think about it, right, like our grandparents weren't able to own those stocks for real, right? If so, it was going to be extremely hard. They might have needed $10,000. They might have needed a broker. Chances are it was going to be white, right? And I remember when I first started investing, crazy enough, it was with E-Trade, but it cost me $13 to simply buy. So if I only had $200, right, and I wanted to buy a couple shares of GM or GE or something, right? No matter how many, if I wanted to buy one share and it was $12, well, it was going to cost me, $25 to make the whole trade go through, right? Because it was a $13 commission fee. So at the end of the day, what Robinhood did was like, yo, not only are we going to make this easier, but we're going to make it free. So commission free, boom. Oh, I'm buying stocks for free, selling them for free. Because even, buying the stock was $13. In order to sell it, right, to get my profits, it also was going to cost $13. And so the reason I say, Robinhood, what they intended to do was right. I love the business from that standpoint. Now, what ended up happening, right, is unintended consequences because the world is shut down. Right. When they really kind of sprang into popularity was when the world was shut down. There were no sports. So the idea of gambling was gone. How could we gamble when it ain't no basketball, no football? Everything just was shut down. I got to figure out a way to gamble.
Yeah, and even on top of that, also you lost your income. So now it's exactly. Like, well, this might be, I've seen other people do it and on YouTube, and I got plenty of time at home right now. So hey, maybe this is my time, right? This is what I got to do to put food on the table. Yeah.
Because so the thing with Robinhood, right? Them people, like you say, they sitting at home, they ain't got nothing to do. They trying to figure out how to make some bread, right? And they turn on Instagram. Somebody showing they made a couple racks in a few minutes, right? And so for them, they like, yo, I'm about to start investing. But the thing that made it so gamified, as you say, right? The moment you buy your first stock on Robinhood, it's fucking confetti falling from the sky. Woohoo! So you really thought you was playing a game because it's confetti falling, right? And funny enough, if you was to Google it, like they actually used to have that, right? It really made it look like a video game. They've since had to change it. And so since then, they've changed that. There's no more confetti and everything. But what ended up happening, and it attracted a certain type of user, right? A person who don't have that much money in their account. They're getting on there trying to get rich quick as opposed to long-term investing, right? But at the end of the day, if you're a platform that's free, right, the only way you're making money is technically selling your user data, then technically you need them to kind of trade a lot. Right? If I'm a brokerage company, the only way I'm making money is selling data. Well, the only way I'm getting data is if that user is getting on there buying and selling every day. Oh, they trading options. Oh, every day. And the crazy, they doing it every day at market open, and then they doing it again at lunchtime. So that's the type of data that is valuable, right? And so at the end of the day, right, Robinhood, what it tried to do was solve a problem, which I thought was awesome. But because the way their business model was set up, and then they had a few hiccups along the way, right? When they had the meme stock, when meme stocks really hit big, when it was, AMC and GameStop and, Sundial, a few other ones, right? Voss and everything. Well, what made them really get a bad name was because they ended up making it so that you could no longer buy the stocks, but instead you could sell it. So by nature, the stock had to go down. And so they really got a bad name. So Robinhood has had a very tough time. If you would actually look at the stock, I want to say the high of the stock, 52-week high was like close to $60, like $58. And, I've seen it go below $10, right? No telling where it's at today, but, it is definitely fallen from grace. And it got a lot to do with, they were getting a lot of money from crypto because, came back crypto and E-Trade, right? Came back crypto and Fidelity yet. But you were able to buy actual crypto in Robinhood. So they were very popular, right? Trying to make the everyday person be able to, have access. That's what democratization is, right? We want to have access the same way the rich white people, right, in the suburbs got access. And that's really what it was. So I love it for that. They made a few hiccups along the way, but I do think that it is a lot of value in it, though. What you think?
Yeah, no, I think my biggest thing is ultimately people are pointing the finger at Robinhood for their whole gamification of investing, right? Basically making investing simple, but also trying to play up a little bit on addictive personalities and things like that. And I get that. However, my biggest thing was like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, right? Like, bitch, you ain't never give me access to your stock
At all.
Like, I can't afford your stock. So like, now I get it. You want to get on the people that are giving me access, right? But like, if it was up to you, I still wouldn't have access, and I still wouldn't be on the playing field. So, miss me with all that. Keep your opinions to yourself. I appreciate them. I understand that, but until you create a way for me to have access into your investments, into your portfolios, we ain't got shit to say because you're not helping me.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? And I think that's
powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is like a lot of with this in particular, it's just like a lot of people who are complaining, and I get it. I get it from their perspective. You're complaining, but I don't necessarily think you're complaining because you care that somebody who's a new investor just lost money, right? I think you're more of complaining because you don't give a shit. Let's I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. I don't think that you give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know these people, so I will go ahead and disclaim it. Maybe they do give a shit. Maybe they are up crying at night, but I don't think you're talking shit about Robinhood because you care that Susie in Ohio, right, done lost her bread. Because I'll put money on that you don't give a shit. Now, on the flip side, again, they are giving access. They are opening the gate and lowering the barriers. And so while, like you said, there are some unintended consequences that have come from it, right? Like certain things we as individuals have to take ownership for ourselves, right? Like you see confetti flying, that don't mean buy some more shit, right? I mean, know yourself to create wealth, right? How do you pull yourself in? It's like when we were growing up, they used to talk about Grand Theft Auto. That video game is causing people to go out and shoot people, right? Well, I mean, I can we make the parallel? Yes, we can. I can understand that. But if you were going to go out and shoot somebody, you were going to go out and shoot somebody, right? Like, let's not blame it on the fucking video game. Now, trust me, I understand the shades of gray. But we're not going to sit here and say that you wanted to shoot somebody. You decided to shoot somebody simply because you saw it off Grand Theft Auto, right? Mm-hmm. Those are two totally different things. And more importantly, on that particular point, that's a child's impressionable mind. That's a 7-year-old. You got a 10-year-old playing Grand Theft Auto or something like that. That's like when they talked about rappers and rap songs were influencing people to act violently, right? Like sometimes you got to fucking say, hey, like you acted that way on your own, so to speak, right? You got to take ownership of your actions, right? So unless it's people, and I'm probably sure there are people out there that are saying, hey, Robinhood baffled me or bamboozled me into this, so to speak. I think more importantly, the moral of the story is like, hey, because they're doing what we are doing, right? And this is not me taking up for Robinhood. It's just more of like you are democratizing and giving access to investing through Maconomics, right? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to democratize the information to rooms and people and financial education through Life 101. And ultimately, eventually, if certain things go bad for people because of the market or downturns or whatever, people will look and point the finger at you or I like, well, you shouldn't have done that. It's your fault. No, if we didn't do it, we'd all still be sitting back at home and have no chance of advancing ourselves. So let's just make that clear.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is this. What Robinhood goal is, they doing God's work, right? In the form of trying to allow people that would be closed out to have opportunities that other people, have. And so I rock with that. Just like Life 101, Maconomics, etc. There's a few other people doing what we do. Because a lot of people just going to sit down, bro, and they'll point the finger, but they not coming with no solution. And I think that that's what I'm saying. It's always, if you coming with a problem but don't offer a solution, you part of the problem, right? And so Warren Buffett, 97 years old, his boy, Charlie Munger, 99 for, I think, like 93 and 99. Bruh, these mogs been getting rich their whole life, and all they do, and I ain't mad at they think, but I've never been in a position to get money with them. Right? Because here's the real thing. Robinhood allowed you to own a fraction of a share. Right now, do yourself a favor and just look up Berkshire Hathaway stock. Nobody in your hood, chances are it's only like 3 people you might know, and anybody you know. They motherfuckers can't buy that. Berkshire Hathaway, last I looked, was in the hundreds of thousands, right? Because you got more than one type of share. But at the end of the day, bro, can't nobody buy their stuff. So, the idea, but one thing Robinhood did was give you the ability to own a fraction of a share. Average person can't buy a share of Amazon, them thousands of dollars. Berkshire Hathaway, it's 2, they got Class A, Class B or whatnot. One might be 40, 50,000, other might be hundreds of thousands. Ain't nobody be able to buy one of those, right? That's your whole portfolio if you get a portfolio that big. But you could buy a fraction of it, 1/10 of it, 1/2 of it, whatever it is you could afford. And that's another thing I rocked with Robinhood. So I rock with it.
And that's powerful.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because if you get that fraction, because what you said at the beginning of the episode, you got to start. You get that fraction of a share, now you're paying attention, right? Like, you might not own a whole Amazon share, but you own a fraction, and it keeps you paying attention. It introduces you to the game, and ultimately,
the Class A of Berkshire Hathaway.
Mm-hmm. Give me the 52-week range.
It is, because I'm looking at it on my phone. So it is in the 400,000s. One share of Berkshire Hathaway Class A is over $460,000. So right now, ask yourself, is your portfolio that big? Could you even buy 1/10, 1/100th? But Robinhood at least again, you say, yo, let me buy 1/1000th of that, right? Because that's going 1/1000th is 400 and what would I say, about $60, right? You know what I'm saying? So like the idea that who the hell want to buy 1/1000th of a share, right? No, but like Robinhood is coming with a solution, so I rock with them, bro. You know what I'm saying? I rock with it, and I think the thing that made it bad was that, people got on there and they thought they were gambling. They went on there. I know someone to this day who had a negative account balance on there. He somehow he did some option shit. I don't know what he ended up doing, but he called me when it was too late. He like, man,
damn.
You know what I'm saying? He blew his whole account up, right? But that's what happened, right? Because everybody was trying to get rich quick, and that's what Robinhood at the time appeared to be. But it solved the problem. All right, so look, people, in conclusion, man, at the end of the day, if you're trying to get started investing, man, just do it. And the best way to start is understand it's a difference between investing and trading, right? Investing is when you literally are saying, I'm about to become disciplined, putting $200-$300 every month, whatever you could afford, right? We'll get to how you could actually get there, whether it's side hustles, we're going to have more episodes there, whether it's learning how to actually budget better, controlling your expenses, but find a way, whether it's $150, $200, $300 monthly to start putting for your long term so that when you look back in 20, 30 years, you have a great amount of wealth, right? Long-term investing, right? And the way you do it is putting it in the S&P 500. That right there alone, it's not sexy, but it is a proven method that lets you know over the long course of time, right, you are going to have at least 10% returns annually, right? Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but on average, is getting you 10% returns, right? And that's the episode. I need y'all to do us a favor, man. This y'all first time getting here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and most importantly, share it with a friend, share it with a cousin, share it with the one girl, that stood you up, you know what I mean, or actually had you take out on a date and purely only use you for the food and never called you again, right? You were just a free meal. But whatever you do, share it with somebody, man, and make sure y'all tune in to the next episode. Much love.